Hey, fourth graders. This is solving equations in your arithmetic, pages 256 through 258. So this lesson is a little bit more complicated than usual, but I'm sure that after this video, you guys will get a much better idea on how to solve these questions. All right, let's start. First thing you need to know about solving equations is, of course, what is an equation? Well, an equation is a mathematical sentence that uses the equal sign that we all know to show that both expressions, sides, are equal, the same. All right, so that might be kind of confusing, but let's see an example here. Switch colors. Let's do 4 plus 6 equals 10. Very simple. This is an equation, okay? It's a mathematical sentence. It has the equal sign, right, that we see here, okay? This is the equal sign. And there's two sides, right? So I can read this as 4 plus 6 is the same as 10. So when you see this equal sign, instead of saying equal, you can also say it as is the same as ... Okay, so is that true? Is 4 plus 6 the same as 10? Well, we know that if we added 4 plus 6, that would give us 10. So is 10 is the same as 10? Is that true? Yeah, of course, right? 10 are 10 the same numbers, so they're the same. So this equal sign tells us that one side of our equation is the same as the other side. All right, so that's something we have to keep in mind for our lesson today. Let's put this to the side here. All right, so some questions you're going to see today, they're going to look a little bit tricky. Something like this. For example, we got n plus 5 equals 6 times 3. So this n plus 5 might kind of throw you guys off. You might be wondering, why are we using letters here? Okay, well, we've done problems very similar to this before. Let me draw a line here. It's kind of separated. Okay, all right. So we've done problems very similar to this before. We've done problems like, and like fill in the missing number, right? Like the square plus 5 equals 8, right? And then you fill in the square with a number. So 3 obviously is the missing number here. Same thing here. We have a missing number, and which is represented by n plus 5 equals 6 times 3. So we're trying to figure out, what is this missing number here? What is this number n? You might be wondering, how come we're using n? Well, it could be anything. I could have written the question as this box plus 5 equals 6 times 3, and then we have to figure out what this number is here, right? Or it could have been like hearts plus 5 equals 6 times 3, and we have to figure out what number does heart represent, okay? It could have been smiley face, it could have been almost anything, all right? So don't worry about this letter. It just represents some missing number that we're trying to figure out, okay? Like a mystery number. All right, so let's start. Let me show you the steps to solving a question that looks like this. Here are the steps. Step 1, let me move this way. So step 1 is solve the side without the unknown number. All right, so we just talked about how equations have two sides to them, right? Two sides, and they also have an equal sign in between them. All right, so we have two sides here. Here's our first side, and here's the other side. So the first step is solve the side without the unknown number. All right, so which side has the unknown number n on it? Is it n plus 5 or 6 times 3? Which side does not have n on it? Of course, this side, right? The 6 times 3 side. All right, so you have to solve that first. So what is 6 times 3? Obviously, 6 times 3 is 18, right? and then just bring down everything else. Now our problem becomes n plus 5 equals 8. So, second step, solve for n. That means we have to figure out what does n represents. What number plus 5 equals 18? I know a lot of you guys could probably do that really quickly in your head, but we have to do it a certain way. Okay, so here. And so one thing to do, one way to solve for n is to leave n by itself on one side. All right, meaning I don't want any other numbers next to n. And for me to do that, I would need to take away this plus 5 somehow. So in order for me to take away this plus 5, I would have to do the opposite. I would have to add 5. All right, so this becomes, sorry, I would need to do the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5. So this becomes n plus 5 minus 5 equals 18. All right. And another really important rule you have to remember is that whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Since I subtracted minus 5 on this side of our equation, I have to do the same on the other side of my equation. So I also have to minus 5 on this side here. All right, so now I can solve this. 18 minus 5 equals what? 13, right? Bring down the equal sign. Now this becomes n plus 5 minus 5. So plus 5, then minus 5. If I gave you $5 and I took away $5 from you, how many dollars do you have? 0, right? So you'll have nothing. So instead of writing 0 for plus 5 minus 5, I'll just write n. Okay, so now I left n all by itself. That's what I want to do. I wanted to cancel this out somehow. Draw these different colors. I want to cancel this out somehow, and I cancel it by adding 5 and then taking away 5. All right, so now my answer is n equals 13. All right, so I solved for n. I figured out what our mystery number here is. I think it is the number 13. All right, I'm thinking this is 13. So we're not done yet though. We want to substitute n for your answer. You want to make sure this actually is true. So I'm going to plug in 13 for n. So that becomes, so my equation was originally n plus 5 equals 6 times 3. Well, I'm trying to see, well, I think that n equals 13. So instead of writing n, I'm going to plug in my number 13 here. Okay, so I'm going to say 13 plus 5 equals 6 times 3. Let's see if this is true. Well, 6 times 3 equals 18, and 13 plus 5 equals 18. Okay, so does 18 is the same as 18. Is that true? Yes. All right, so this means my answer is correct here. All right, so that's how you would do this problem. So in order to solve this problem, n plus 5 equals 6 times 3, I need to see all of this as your answer. Okay, I know this is kind of a lot, but it's just the way that Becca wants you to do it. And I think this is going to help you later on when you guys do something called algebra. This is a really big part of algebra. You'll be working with a lot of letters. So let's work on some more examples together. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger to give us more space here. All right. Okay. All right. I didn't want this to be all pink here. Make this black. All right. So let's do some more examples. Let's do. All right. Let's do n plus 4 equals 18 divided by 2. All right. So here's my next question. N plus 4 equals 18 divided by 2. So I'm trying to figure out what is n here? What number is n representing? Okay, what number can I put in here to make this equation true? All right, to make this side of the equation the same as this other side. What number can I put in here? Let's see. First, Step, solve the side without the unknown number. Which side does not have the unknown number? Which side does not have the n in it? Is it n plus 4 or 18 divided by 2? 18 divided by 2, right? Obviously the n is on this side, not on this side. So I would solve this side of my equation first. 18 divided by 2 is, okay, yeah, 18 divided by 2 is what? 2 goes into 18 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. So 9, right? So this becomes 9. All right. Now, n, bring down the n plus 4. Now I'm asking myself, what number plus 4 equals 9? I know all of you guys can do that really quick in your head, and you just want to jump to, n equals 5. Okay, we can't do that. All right, we have to do some more steps. I know it's kind of like, cumbersome, but it's just it'll be good practice for you later on. Okay, so second step, solve for n. We solve for n by leaving n alone on this side here. I don't want this plus 4 here. I don't like this plus 4 next to n. I want to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite of adding 4. What's the opposite of adding 4? What did I do here? What was the opposite of adding 5? I subtracted 5, right? So now I have to subtract 4 from n plus 4 equals 9. And remember, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So since I subtracted minus 4 here, I would have to do what here? Subtract 4 also. All right. So this becomes 9 minus 4 becomes 5. Bring down the equal sign. Now, plus 4 minus 4. If I gave you $4 and I took away $4, you have 0, right? So this cancels each other out. So this becomes, so now all I have left is n. Bring down the n. All right, so now n equals 5. So I think my mystery number here is 5. All right, so let's plug it in and see if it's true. Plug it into my equation here. N plus 4 equals 18 divided by 5. So instead of writing n, I'm going to write 5 plus 4 equals 18 divided by 2. Let's see if this is correct. Well, I know that 18 divided by 2 is 9. Bring down the equal sign. 5 plus 4 equals 9. Yep, so my answer is correct. So n equals 5. So this here, all of this here would be my answer for this question here. Okay, let's do some more examples. I know that might have been a little bit confusing. Let's do a little bit more. You'll see a lot of different variety of answers, questions, I mean. Okay, let's choose a different color for the question. Here's the next question I want to do with you guys. Let's do n minus 2 equals 4 times 5. So remember, our first step is to do, what was it? Solve the side without the unknown number n. So which side does not have the unknown number n in it? Is it n minus 2 or 4 times 5? Which side? Yeah, this side, right? Yeah, so do this first. 4 times 5 equals 20. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the n minus 2. So n minus 2 equals, let me choose a different color. Oops. So this becomes n minus 2, so 4 times 5 equals 20. All right, so, and what number minus 2 will give me 20? I know you guys can already know the answer in your head, but we have to do it, we do some extra steps to solve it. So now we have to solve for n. Since I minus 2 here, to solve for n in this question, I would need to do something a little bit different. So what's the opposite? Remember, I don't like this minus 2 hanging out with this n here. So I gotta get rid of this minus 2 somehow. All right, so if I, I need the opposite. What's the opposite of subtracting 2? It's adding 2, right? So now this becomes n minus 2 plus 2 equals 20. So you might be wondering, how come I'm adding 2? Because all the other steps we've been subtracting, right? Well, this time I have to add 2 because that's the opposite of subtracting 2. If let's say you owe me $2, right? And then I gave you $2. So how much money do you owe me? You owe me nothing, right? 0. So same thing here. By doing the minus 2 plus 2, I am canceling out. I'm canceling out this plus 2 minus 2. So this cancels out. So all I'm left with is n. All right. So n equals 20. So now I figure out that n, my mystery number here, is 20. Let's plug it in and see if it works. 20 minus 2, so I'm plugging into this equation here, equals 4 times 5. 20 minus 2 equals 18. Sorry, yeah, hold on. Yeah. And 4 times 5 equals 20. All right, hold on. Is that true? No. So I definitely did something wrong here. What did I do wrong here? N equals 20. All right, 20 minus 2 equals what number? Okay, well, I messed up here somewhere. All right. There is something I did wrong here. Oh, you know what I did wrong? I forgot to, what I did to one side, I forgot to do to the other. All right. Since I added 2 here, I'll also need to add 2 here. So this becomes n equals 22. Sorry, so it's supposed to be 22 minus 2 equals 4 times 5. Yeah, so that's the step I forgot. Okay, yeah, so this becomes 22. Sorry, 22 minus 2 equals 20. 20 equals 20. All right, sorry about that. I messed up on that one. All right, let's do another one. Give you another example here. Okay. So yeah, all right. Let's do n minus 7. Oops, not a good color. Next example. N minus 7 equals 25 minus 8. All right, let's solve this one. So we have to do this side without the letter or variable. That's what they're called. The letter in it. Which side does not have the letter in it? Is it n minus 7 or 25 minus 8? Obviously, it's 25 minus 8, right? Okay. So 25 minus 8 equals 17. Let me stick with the same colors. Equals 17, right? All right. So now this becomes n minus 7 equals 17. So what number minus 7 equals 17? Again, I have to leave n by itself. I don't like this minus 7 hanging out with this n here. So to get rid of this minus 7, I have to do the opposite of subtracting 7, which is what? Which is adding 7. Okay, so this becomes n minus 7 plus 7 equals 17. And all right, don't forget, I'm not going to forget the next step here. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Because I forgot to do that here, and that messed me up, right? Okay, so now since I added 7 here, I would also need to add 7 on the other side. So this becomes 17 plus 7 equals 24. Equal sign, and now this just brings down this cancels each other out, right? Plus minus 7 and then plus 7 cancels each other out. Bring down the n, so n equals 24. Now let's plug in 24 into our equation here. N minus 7 equals 25 minus 8 and see if it's true. So let me write it this way. So minus 7 equals 25 minus 8. So originally I have n here, right? But now I'm saying n equals 24. So I'm going to plug it in here into my n, take away the n, plug in 24 and see if this is true. 24 minus 7 equals what? 24 minus 7 equals 17. And bring down the equal sign. Sorry, let me try using a different color. 24 minus 7 equals 17. And 25 minus 8 also equals 17. So 17 equals 17. All right, so this is my answer here. And yeah, all right. Hopefully you guys understood that. If not, as always, you can always contact me. All right, just make sure you guys just follow these steps here. Just make sure you follow these steps. Solve the side without the unknown number first. All right, solve for n, and you have to check your answer by substituting n with your answer. Okay, hope you guys are all doing well. Take care.